The knee. Oh, massive mistake by the knee. As they're both really, really good. Oh, yep, both of those drivers actually. Both of those drivers.
Oh, they're going side by side. G-Force, they're going side by side.
Yeah, they've been having a very incredible battle. We also think about this battle in the
Oh, no! No, Beast is out. No, he's not out, but he has had a massive mistake. What a season 1 was. I think we can all agree that that was such an incredible season. We had our first ever champion. It was Mr. Knee, if you guys remember. I'm just so glad that we were able to deliver you such high quality content back in season 1. And we're back yet again for season number 2. I really want to say a quick thank you to my partners, Project Apex, World of Cups, and Invox as well for making all of this possible. But yeah, we're back for one more season with basically the classics. I'm going to introduce you to our commentator in just a little bit, but we're in Silverstone for season number 2 for round 1. It's going to have 10 rounds, so a 2-round longer calendar than last time. We have a few changes in the point system, so the pole position obtainer will get a single point for that pole position, making qualifying a little bit more important to everyone. And just like I said, just like last season, we have alongside me Mr. G-Force. Hey man, introduce yourself. Go ahead. If you can talk, that is.
Hello, Arthur.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'm here with some
ahead.
issues. It's very difficult right now, but I'm trying to fix it.
Yeah, so Mr. G-Force is having a few issues with his microphone. I'm seeing 25 viewers, which is more than we have ever gotten. The link is now in the chat for all of you guys to use if you really wanted to. But yeah, here we go. We are in the lobby then. We are waiting for all of you to start joining up. There's going to be a small qualifying session before the race. So let's go ahead. Let's put that into effect. As I said, GeForce has a slight few problems with his internet, but hopefully that should be fixed soon. From what I can see, my other feed is frozen. So let's go ahead. Let's put qualifying through here. Make sure it works. The era is 2024 only. It's equal cars. So go ahead and start joining up. And we should be good to go. We have 16 minutes of qualifying for today. I have all kinds of new graphics for you guys to see today, and I just can't wait to show you alongside my good friend Mr. GeForce here. We should be good to begin in just a few moments. So yeah, GeForce, how are we feeling about this new season? I think I'm feeling pretty great, honestly. Are you there? You're muted, my friend. Just make sure that we can hear you. Well, until he fixes his issues, which I'm glad that he gotten, but that's all right. It doesn't stop us from having a great coverage. What I do want to say is that I'm so glad to be back for yet another season. Did we just get a donation? Welcome to Race Winners. So Cripperman is a new Raw Arthur member. I am super glad. Thank you very much, man. I really do appreciate that. So yeah, welcome to Race Winners. Really do appreciate that. Back to qualifying, however, GeForce seems to not have solved his issues yet, which is so sad. We should have had a very good qualifying, but that's all right. As the lobby is filling so quickly, I'm so glad that you guys are all here. We're going to be spectating Slipstreamer. Let me go ahead and introduce to you guys some of our graphics for this new season. So let's go ahead, let's open this, and for the first time ever, we have a customized leaderboard. I think that's the best addition you've ever seen. It's a colorful leaderboard. I think the lobby has also filled up, which is incredible to see. So yeah, that's just amazing. I really want to say again, massive thanks to my partners, World of Cups, Invox, and Project Apex for allowing all of this to be possible. Obviously, their links are in the description if you do want to go ahead and check them out. But yeah, the lobby has filled up so much, and I'm really glad about that. Link is, I think, pinned. It's not pinned. Let me go ahead and pin that real quick for all of you guys. If it does want to allow me to do that, that is, because YouTube is not great sometimes. Great. Okay, so we have just pinned the message. I have so many new things to show you guys as well later on. So yeah, let's just focus up on this until GeForce fixes his problems. GeForce, whenever it's back, just unmute yourself. Go ahead and just tell me that you're good. But yeah, so we have a new leaderboard type of graphic. We can see everybody up on the leaderboard as well. We have 19 people in this lobby, which is absolutely incredible to see. Also, we have a 5,000 Robux prize pool, just like last time, just like last season. So that is back. Top 3 will be sharing that prize pool. The first guy will be getting 3,000 Robux, the second guy 1,500, and the third guy will be getting 500. By the way, they have all been paid, and so that we can move smoothly with season 2. And yeah, I'm just super glad that I can deliver this for you guys. Now there's 13 minutes left in this qualifying session, plenty of time for you guys to start setting laps. And I do want to showcase a new feature that we have for this season. So the guy on provisional pole right now, who is Wiseye, we are not able to spectate him just yet. You know what? We'll just leave it until we can actually spectate him, so I can show you guys what the new feature is. But it's a really cool feature. I can't wait to show you guys. 13 minutes still left in this qualifying session. Yeah, we said Wiseye on provisional pole, shuffle in P5. It's the last guy who has set a valid lap so far. However, it is fairly slow. Do expect to see those lap times improve throughout the qualifying. But yeah, I hope everybody is good. I hope we can have a great race today. And yeah, this is so unfair. Why? What's up? I'm on mobile. Yeah, guys, whoever is on mobile, they can't really compete because of how Roblox works with private servers on mobile. I genuinely can't do anything about that. I can't friend all of you during the stream, which is, I guess, not the best thing, but yeah, we just have to focus on this. Now, I also want to show you the new DRS graphic. If Shuffle does decide to open it up on this straight, we'll be having a look right now. What a great animation, right? I mean, come on. You got to give it to me. You got to give it to me. As he closes the DRS, then heading up to Stowe, the most bumpy corner on this track. Expect to see lots of drivers getting caught up with that as well. As we have a full lobby. It's so great to see that. Let's see though, does Project Apex allow me to spectate anyone else that isn't... Yeah, there we go. Wiseye, here we go. So he's heading through Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel as he's fully corner cutting. Let me go ahead and showcase this new feature that we have for this season. So let's go ahead, make sure everything is good. And Mr. Wiseye, I'm not sure if you can hear us, but we can hear you. Welcome to the first ever team radio on the Project Apex Community Championship League. Can you go ahead and talk for us?
Yeah, thank you.
Great. So,
I'm happy to be here.
Yep, great. So everything works perfectly. As you can see, we got the graphic up on the screen. We're hearing Wiseye. So Wiseye is starting his lap right now. Wiseye, you want to talk us through a single lap of Silverstone?
Yeah, so you kind of want to try and get the apexes here. And then get a bit of a cut here, because it can gain you a bit of time. And on the straight, you want to get to 8th gear as early as you can. Get down to 5th gear here. And then just go through like this. Kind of throw yourself into this corner cutting a bit there. And then, yeah. You don't want to use too much ERS here, you want to save it for the straight later, so I'm going to turn it off. And then, when you go through cops here, you want to turn it on again and get to 8th gear. Right here. And you can cut a bit here. Go down to 6.
Marcus Beckett's and Chapel absolutely perfected. He's opening his DRS then right now. Going through this smaller straight up to Stowe. Is Stowe still as bumpy as it was, Wiseye? What do you think?
No, I wouldn't say so. I think it's a bit less bumpy, but it is a bit hard to take in.
Good. Okay. Well, less bumps means more fair
I
racing.
fucked up. Yeah.
Damn. Okay. Well,
Sorry about the swearing, by the way.
That's good, man. Don't worry about it. But yeah, he finishes his lap. That was an invalidation, right?
Yep.
Well, that was all from Mr. Wiseye. Thank you very much for coming on the very first team radio of the Raw Arthur Community Championship, as he will be going back to hibernation, if you allow me to say that. But yeah, we're spectating Mr. Ratapato, who I won't reveal what he is yet for the stream, but you guys should see it fairly soon. But yeah, Mr. GeForce doesn't seem to have fixed his issue yet, which is very, very unfortunate. Really miss having him as the co-commentator because, yeah, it's not great. But we have to excuse him. Here we have Chris Boye, the runner-up to the championship last season. So if you guys remember what happened last season, Chris Boye was on the final round going against the knee. They were just a few points apart, but by the end of the first qualifying session, Chris Boye had to like leave. He had stuff to do apparently, so he missed the last race, giving Knee the easy world championship. It was a great fight throughout the season, I'll tell you that. But yeah, it was fairly easy for Knee to achieve that championship on the final round. Hopefully this time around, Chris can put some consistent laps in there and challenge for that championship once again this season. But we have some very, very quick drivers this round. Hopefully we can see them next round as well, which I won't reveal to you what it is yet. GeForce has chosen it before we started this broadcast, so we'll find out at the end of it. 8 minutes to go then in this qualifying session. Chris opens his DRS, as you can see right there, closes it, goes into stow. Less bumpy, as we said. Tons of lag as well. The leaderboard isn't holding up too well, but that should hopefully be fixed up for the race. Hopefully is what I'm saying, because I have no idea. It's fairly inconsistent. We'll see what happens. But yeah, Chris Boye goes through the final couple of corners. He does get provisional pole position from Mr. Beastiva. That's really, really good to see. Here's I'd love to give you the new graphic as well that I have prepared as well. So we have a new leader, that is Chris. He is on provisional pole right now. Let's see how that evolves. He's not on provisional pole by a long while. He is just a few thousandths of a second away. Beastiva. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, as we're spectating Beastiva now, he was on provisional pole. Looks like GeForce is back.
Yeah, I am back now. I haven't fixed this, so I've just decided to use my phone for the rest of qualifying and see if it works then.
All right. Well, it's slightly degraded audio, but it should be better than nothing, guys. I think we all can agree to that. But yeah, looking on Beastiva, looks like we have a flipped car on the backside as well. Is Beastiva back on provisional pole? He is by a 10th as well. We have a new provisional leader. That's some really good news for Beastiva right there. Not too great for Chris, if I should say so myself. And one guy that I wasn't expecting to see so slow is Wiseye, the guy who we had on radio a little bit ago. So we'll talk to him throughout the race. We'll see what happens. We'll see where his pace evolves. If he gets quicker throughout the race, if he gets slower throughout the race, we'll find it out. All on the new feature of the PA Community Championship, which is the team radio. Now, I also want to...
Yeah, we'll have...
Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. Oh, yeah, we'll have to see who will be the champion of the freeway battle we have for the lead so far between Beastiva, Chris, and Wiseye.
Absolutely. So yeah, it looks like if those three actually appear on all the rounds, we should be in for a very good fight. But we talked to Wiseye before the race as well. It doesn't look like he was too ready for this race. So let's see what he can pull off in this race. As we are spectating Ratapato, there's a lot of vision lag, which is not great to see. But hopefully that sorts itself out throughout this race. As we see Ratapato going through Abbey until the next couple of corners for this qualifying session. 5.5 minutes to go still in this qualifying, so you guys still can get a few laps in there if you really wanted to. 2024 cars only. It's equal cars, and there is no compound rules, so you can start on any compound you want and finish on any compound you want. You don't have to pit if you really don't want to, but it's going to cost you a lot of time, so we suggest you do.
Yeah, pitting is going to be really valuable considering they've changed the 2024 cars and stuff. So there will be longer stints as well, but there will also have to be what's called different tyre choices, so it won't just be all softs and stuff. So we'll have to see how that pans out in the race for Silverstone. But 4 minutes 45 seconds left to qualify, and we have Beastiva still on pole and Chris still hot on his tail. Ratapato in P5. Can he manage to get within that top 3? Because he's only 9/10 off. He can manage to improve on that as he has the DRS going through the straight here and into one of the very difficult corners with the bump. Can he manage to negate that bump? I think he does as he drives past, going into the last couple of braking corners. Can he manage to improve on his lap time of a 106 flat? We'll have to see as he crosses the line, and it's going to be a 125.442. So yeah, he has improved significantly, but it's not going to be enough to crack into that top 4.
Yeah, so he does improve, which is great news for him right there. Unfortunately, Project Apex does not allow us to go back, so we can't spectate the leaders until we go through the full grid. So let's go ahead and do that real quick, make sure we don't kind of mess it up. As we're watching over Beastiva, he has chosen to go for the Visa Cash App RB livery. What a strange name still. I still haven't gotten used to it, but yeah, he goes through this small straight. Is he on a lap? He might be, as he has his DRS open, going to stow. We'll have to wait and see. But he looks like he is on provisional pole position. Looks like he has a good foundation to stay there. Chris hasn't been able to close in on him so far. But yeah, there's still 3 minutes to go as, yeah, that was not great, obviously, by Beast, as he invalidates maybe his lap. He was too slow, maybe. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, as Chris comes out of the pits now to try and set another hot lap that can beat Beastiva. He is in that Red Bull and he is looking to regain what he lost in Season 1. Obviously, it was a really heartbreaking ending for him, unable to race in the final race, so he has to avenge himself maybe in Silverstone and challenge Beastiva for that pole position and eventually the win as well. So as he prepares for his lap, we'll have to see whether he can manage to take it or if he is going to be stuck in P2.
Absolutely. We'll have to wait and see how that evolves. Let's find out the rest then. Wiseye will be starting a lap right now. As you can see, he's cutting the final corner. That's something you can very much do in Project Apex as he runs very wide, making sure he gets all the speed he needs out of the exit of that corner, because we're talking about thousandths of a second here. We're not even talking about tenths. We're talking about thousands, and he really needs to nail every single corner, as he doesn't do that just yet through this first sequence of corners. I think he missed a couple of apexes there as he's moving through, opening the DRS, moving through the small straight, going into the field, and yeah. We'll have to wait and see how Wiseye does this lap. This season, we're not going to have the annoying graphic that displays the leaderboard next on your screens. Maybe we find another solution to that next season. I'm not going to reveal much more than that, but I have a couple of solutions. We've been thinking about it. Just stay tuned and find out what it is. But for now, Wiseye, we'll have to wait and see as he completes his lap. No, he doesn't. Okay, he completely invalidates there. I think he's going to be resetting himself. Maybe not. Maybe going for another ride. I mean, he doesn't have enough time to reset himself, so his best bet is going for another ride. As we said, pole position does get a point in this championship. The rest is done through the official F1 championship point rankings, so we wait and see how that goes. This is where GeForce is supposed to take over. Hello, are you there? Still fighting with his issues with GeForce, which is quite unfortunate to see. We were both very, very excited for this first round of the PA Community Championship, but that's our luck right there. It haunts us up until this day. As we see Beastiva going through the small straight, closing his DRS, heading into left field, is Beastiva going through there. Make sure he takes a good exit out of there. GeForce seems to be back, so take over.
Yeah, Beastiva continuing down on his lap here. I think it will be his last lap around Silverstone for qualifying for the first round of Season 2 in the Visa Cash App Red Bull, whatever it is. Going ahead of Chris, can he manage to maintain that lead with this lap? Managing to extend it even further potentially as he goes through Maggots and Beckett's and now onto the straight. We'll have to see if he manages using the DRS to try and get the most out of his lap. Probably deploying all of his ERS, what he has left of his battery, going into the most deadly corner of the track, in my opinion. But he manages to tame it, going into the couple of corners with the breaking points that you really have to if you want a chance of giving a lap time, which BC seems to have done as he crosses over to line. But does he improve? Yes, he does by 3/10. So he manages to extend his lead even further ahead of Chris.
That is such an incredible lap by Beastiva. Wiseye improves up to second, which is great to see on his side. That is actually really, really well done by Wiseye there. Yeah. Should we talk to him? Well, we'll do very soon throughout the race. In P3 is Chris. He's not setting the lap. Yep, there we go. In P5 we have Rata. It doesn't show us who is P4. Let's open up the leaderboard actually and have a look. So Mr. Download Drum in P4. In P5 we have Mr. Ratapato. In P6 we have Poco. In P7 we have Just Maxi. In 8th we have Auto Hybrid. In 9th we have SRB3. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that whole thing. And in P10 we have Eats Leon. That pretty much rounds up our top 10. Go ahead guys and line up on the grid because we're gonna get started very, very soon. We won't be waiting for too much time, so go ahead onto the grid and we should be good to go.
Yeah, we will definitely have to see some beautiful racing action, especially with 20 people in the grid from what I see on leaderboard. So it's going to be a very interesting race to see who can get the most points of round 1 of the new season, the new reboot.
So yeah, we just wait for them all to line up as we have already a couple of cars going to the grid. As we said, guys, no compound rules, so you can go ahead and start with any compound you want. The pole position lap time was a 1:24.5, which should be 24 laps, let's say. We'll put it at 24 for this race. So 24 laps it is. Go ahead, make your strategies up right now.
Yeah, it's going to be very intriguing, all of their strategies. You know, the softs, I think, last around 11 laps now with the new cars. So we'll have to see if any of them maybe choose to opt with the mediums or even hards.
I'm not too sure, actually, GeForce, if they will go for the hards, although they could do a no-stopper with the hards. Do we have any hard runner on the grid? Let's have a look. Doesn't seem like it for now. Oh, we do. It is in P13. He is running on hards, which is interesting to see, to say the least. We'll see how that ends up for him. But yeah, the new 2024 update introduces better tire compounds, introducing better strategy. So we'll wait and see how that works out for us as we have all the cars lining up on the grid as we speak. Slowco coming up using the mediums as well. As I can see, the most popular compound of choice is the mediums. So that's also very, very interesting to see. Let's go ahead then and spectate the leaders because we are going to need to do that. We're going to keep the camera like this for the start. I think I've figured out how to fix the Project Apex camera, so we should be good to go. We have Beastiva lining up on pole. We're not going to be waiting for too many of you guys. Seth says wait. It's full, help. Well, if it's full, then I can't do much about it. This is the whole point of the PA Community Championship. If you're not here first, you won't get to compete. And that's the case with you, unfortunately. Do we have any more drivers in the pit lane? Doesn't look like it. If you are in the pit lane, I'm sorry, but you missed the race. We should get started right about now. Yeah, good. We're good. So 24 laps, as we said. I'm going to be putting it up to the race. 24 laps. And let's go ahead and make sure that all works. There we go. I'm going to be starting the lights in just a few seconds as the camera isn't actually fixed. Never mind. As we have a donation from Shuffle, €5. I will read what's the donation in just a little bit as we figure out how to start the race. But here we go. We're going to have the 5 lights come on, and it's not great what the camera does. It has changed the system this race, but it's all right. We have the race. 24 laps of Silverstone is a go with Wiseye leading him up to turn number 1 as we have yet another problem, as it seems like I cannot even close the inventory. Great stuff.
Yeah, that is going to be unfortunate from Arthur. But anyways, moving back from the racing action, we see Wiseye overtaking the RB of Beastiva and Chris as well in P3. As we have a jump start there, I think that's going to qualification for him. Just Maxi behind YSI as well. So he's moved up as well. So there is a lot of moving around the grid for everyone, as everyone is just packed closely together. All 20 drivers just battling each other throughout the first lap of Silverstone. As you know, we see Beastie moving from P1 down to P4, just behind Just Maxi, and but also slightly ahead of Chris. We'll have to see how that battle pans out as we have everyone just moving around the grid.
Absolutely. So we did have a jump starter. I think it was the guy in first with the Mercedes using the hard tire compound. It shouldn't be too hard of a hustle for YSI to get past, since the guy did not qualify too up in there, so there shouldn't be too much of an advantage gained. But as you can see, the bumps really messing up with the drivers. It's going to mess up with lots of drivers this race. You better bet that. But YSI seems to be cleanly through, and this is where he is the new leader of this race. Didn't have a too promising qualifying session. He finished in second, but now he's up into P1, and his hopes of getting that race win is so much more improved.
Yeah, YSI is very
no,
much
as I say
competitive.
that, I'm so sorry, G-Force. As I say that, something happened to YSI there. Maybe a penalty. I am not quite sure. But then he has dropped down to P5, meaning Beastiva is back in the lead, and that should be very happy news for him.
Yeah, I think those commentators can say he was a contender for the win, but now he's just dropped down. It's going to be really unfortunate for him, as he is slightly moving up now, actually back up to P2, so maybe he still is a contender, but BCVA is now 1.5 seconds ahead of everyone. He is having a great start to his race, but he has to fare for 24 laps if he wants a chance of being ahead.
Absolutely. And if you guys heard my ringtone, I'm really sorry, as we have not too many great stuff going on in this round. But hey, this is the first round, a little bit of a testing round as well. So we'll see what happens. But Just Maxi fighting with YSI for that second position. I'm not sure that YSI will be very happy with that. But we'll have to wait, stick through the race and see how YSI fights, how he fights it out through the race. And maybe he gets back up to Beast. But Beast seems to be really good around here. We just wait and see until the end what happens. Mr. Download Drum in P4 doesn't seem to have moved up anymore. P5 is Auto Hybrid. In P6 we have Ratapato, who is actually doing fairly well for himself. And this is where I also want to talk to Ratapato. So let's go ahead, bring him up on the line. Mr. Ratapato, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay, so hello there, mate. How has the race been so far for you?
Well, I mean, the start hasn't been the best. I think we can build the confidence up the next laps and try and push more. But for now, the start hasn't been good.
Absolutely. Hasn't been good then is the information that Ratapato gave us. But Rata, how do you think you'll go? What's the strategy that you'll be following? Is it medium to soft, medium to medium, or is that confidential?
I mean, I don't want to reveal it, but yeah, I will stick with the medium a bit longer.
Okay, well, absolute confidentiality there from Ratapato. Thanks for talking to us. We'll come back to you throughout the race. Absolute confidentiality then for the strategy. And I don't blame the guy. I would also want to hide my strategy. Not reveal it to my... yeah, that was not great from Ratapato there. As we just talked to him right there, but... Yeah, so average race by Ratapato so far from what he said. Now we just stick it through. He has to fight it. He has to keep his head down, set some consistent laps in, and hopefully challenge for that win.
Yeah, I mean, Rata was in P6, but now he slightly dropped with that mistake. Maybe the medium, stretching the mediums could be the play here. I think what he will do, my prediction is that he will stretch the mediums and then move on to the soft later down the line. But for now, he has to manage those mediums so they don't drop off too much and make him have even more mistakes, just like the one we saw in Maggots and Beckers. Yeah, and we have, he's dropped behind Chris. Chris had actually a really large fall from grace, coming from P3 all the way down to P7. So it's definitely not the start he wanted, especially considering that he was contender for Season 1. So we'll have to see whether he can manage to keep up with the people out front, like BCVA, as he manages to overtake the SR underscore B man, but they are battling for each other. He's not giving up that position just yet, as they are very close with each other going into Cops. I think he is just ahead of Chris Boye. and Just Maxi as well, just further up in the road as well. So we'll have to see the tussle between them two for P5, and then up the road you'll have to fight for Mr. Download Drum in order to get into those higher points paying positions.
It's been a very not a crucial race. It's been a very eventful race since the very beginning. But what we haven't seen so far is too many drivers getting caught out by the stow bump, which reveals that the new suspension physics, they are much improved, and I'm really glad to see this. This is a very much needed feature in Project Apex, and I'm super glad that the 2024 update has been loved by everyone. The new physics, the new suspension, all seem to be really good so far. But yeah, Beastiva is just simply cruising for now in the lead. Wiseye is just lurking slightly behind. He has the DRS. That means that he has a slight advantage then onto the straight as he closes it heading into Laffield. He just needs to also keep his head down. They're both on the same compound. I'm not sure what strategy they're both going to be following. One could go to softs, one could go to mediums. Wiseye was talking about mediums at the very beginning of the race, before we started the live broadcast. So we'll have to wait and see how he does that. As I said, though, no pit stop rules, no mandatory compound change. You guys can go for a one-stopper. It's truly your choice. But what I also saw was that Chris is on the hard tire compound as well, meaning that he could try to go for a no-stopper. It's going to be very interesting to see that as well. So yeah, we just wait and see as they're going actually outside of the track. What was that about as they both open up the DRS? Did he get a penalty? He did not. Good. As he's fighting to stay within that top 5. Not going to be too fascinated with that top 5, Mr. Chris, but maybe that's the strat. Maybe we should just trust the process and let him cook.
Yeah, there's a lot of different tire strategies with the different compound, the free selection choice, of course, with the no mandatory pit rule. So yeah, I do think Chris will try to maybe pull out a no stopper at all for those 24 laps. They're going to be very grueling because the tire wear will keep on going down and down and down. So it's up to him whether he can manage to keep them in an optimal range to hopefully cook on and manage for the rest of these 18 laps he has to spare with. He's doing pretty well for himself in P5, attacking Just Maxi for that P4 position, going back up to his P3 qualifying position. So we'll have to see if he manages to overtake him, as he does almost through this corner, going onto the straight now into Cops almost. Can they manage? Who will come out on top? We'll have to see as they go through the corner. It looks like Just Maxi is slightly ahead, but Chris is also gaining on him. I think the tires are starting to wear out for him, and Chris's are just not because of that hards.
Yeah, and I want to go ahead a little bit down on the grid. Looks like the guy left. So I was watching on my other feed that we actually had a crash. Oh, there it is. So that's our first DNF, most likely, of the race. Jaku, the Slovakian, has now retired from the race, which is not going to be great news for him. But as we see, Seth Woolley, I thought he wasn't able to make it to the race, but looks like he has entered, although he is a few laps down, I think. Yeah, so he joined afterwards. I think the lobby was full. But he is now in the race. I don't think he will be able to get any points with how competitive today's field is. Just 20 seconds separating the top 10, which is actually really nice to see. In 10th place, it's Leon52 Roblox. He's a very solid player. He is on the hards. I'm not sure if he's going for a no-stopper. We'll have to wait and see about that. But right now, as it stands, he has built the gap to the leaders that even if he goes for a no-stopper, it wouldn't really benefit him. So we'll just wait and see what happens as we have a person walking out on track that's most likely a safety hazard, but it's still left to be seen what the marshals can do about that.
Actually, we still have BCVAR just ahead in P1, but Wiseye is also catching up to him, only 4 tenths behind. BCVAR's lead has been down and down by Wiseye as they go into the straight. Will he manage to get the DRS? It does seem like he will, being in that DRS range. Does he manage? Yes, so he will manage to close up on BCVAR going into Stowe. Can he manage to, what's it called, overcome the bump? These cars are definitely good at overcoming the bump with their new model, as they both do, going into the tacky corners of the final couple of corners of Silverstone. Does he manage to go faster than him? It does look like it, as he's now just only 3.5 tenths behind Beastie Var now. They are very close to each other, almost side by side, as they go through the first part of this track again on lap 8 into these two corners, the right-hander and then the left-hander. Who will manage to have the better lines through there, and who will manage to have the DRS on the exit as well, but also who will have the better exit. There's a lot of factors coming into this battle between YSI and we see a
massive crash by a Red Bull there. I think that should be a lapped car, but let's just focus on the fight here as YSI and Beast are giving it absolutely everything, going side by side, if I should say so myself. Let's hope none of them crash. This is the famous few words said in Zandvoort, and then we had the very famous spin of Ratepato and Beast both at the same time. Here we have Beast and YSI. Let's see how these two pull through this fight. Will the pressure get to any of them, as YSI looks to have found just a tiny bit more pace, the tiny bit more that he needed to make sure that he can challenge for the race win, as we see them going side by side. Beast is now technically behind YSI as he gets the DRS, but I don't think he's too far behind, but the DRS really helped him on that straight, and he has gained a couple of tenths. He's now back in the lead, as the leaderboard suggests. The vision lag is terrible, we know that, but this is fun racing. It's not supposed to be anything serious. I mean, these two are making it look very serious, as they have pulled a 10-second gap to the nearest car, which is Auto Hybrid, that is up on the podium, which is great to see for him. But yeah, Beastiva looks to have lost then the lead of the race. He looked very promising in qualifying, very promising on the start of the race, but YSI looks to have claimed the lead.
Yeah, YSI has actually been very much on him throughout the race. Oh,
the commentator's curse coming alive once again, GeForce.
I think YSI got a penalty there, yeah.
Maybe, yeah, he got a penalty. I should stop commentating on these two guys. I should let them fight. Should we go ahead and talk to YSI? We'll talk to him later. But yeah, Beast. So we have yet another new race reader. We have had lots of lead changes then in this race. Hopefully a lot more to come. That's not YSI, right? That's a lapped car. Yeah, so YSI just going through Maggots, Beckett, and Chapel. Beast is on the main straight. Does he get a penalty? He got a penalty! YSI is now... Yeah, YSI has now overtaken him for the lead.
Wow. BC VAR has gotten a penalty, which manages to have him 3 seconds behind with the 3-second penalty, of course, as he also gets a little bump there through, I think. So that will be really detrimental to his race there, as he was holding the lead of the race for the first 8 laps of the race. But now he is now a couple seconds behind, a second, 1.2 seconds behind YSI going into the 10th lap. So that's going to be really unfortunate for him, as he was the pole position holder. So can he manage to take it back? Or will he have to succumb to P2 going into the pit stop rounds, which will be really important for them if they want to make up all of that time lost, because there is going to be a lot of strategy involved with this race, especially with the new tire compounds, of course. But they are doing both spectacularly, 8 seconds ahead of Auto Hybrid, who's also having a fairly good race in P3, the podium finisher. But he also has to battle a lot of people, such as Mr. Download Drum as well, also a fast driver in Project Apex. I think it's like 6,000 laps or something. So yeah, definitely not going to be easy for him if he wants to maintain that P3 position. But those softs going to hang on for a little bit longer, maybe like a lap or two before.
GeForce, sorry to cut you, but I think you changed your microphone position slightly. Could we get it back to where it was?
Yeah, is this better now?
That is a bit better. Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go. But Auto Hybrid in P3, he just managed to fend off Mr. Download in order to keep that podium position for.
Yeah, so GeForce's internet became spotty once again, which is really sad to see. But yeah, looks like the fight for the lead is still going on, as Beast is within a second. He is losing a couple of tenths per sector, if I should say so myself, but he is still within that 1 second gap that he needs for that sweet DRS to give him the advantage. But YSI looks to just have brought the pace out of him, and we'll be talking to him very soon. I just want him to be able to concentrate, maybe pull a few more tenths, and have him not blame the fact that he lost the race win because I wanted to talk to him on the voice chat. However, the guy that I do actually want to talk about is the guy who is having a fight with Poco Lando right now. Both of those drivers are actually pretty solid drivers. They're both in Mercedes. They both have the same tire compound, although one of them has to have pitted, and that is Mr. Rata, who is now on the hards. As you can remember, he was on the mediums back when we first talked to him, and now he's on the hards. That was the strategy that he didn't want to reveal, but now it has been revealed, and it looks like he's now chasing after Poco, getting the DRS. Will be heading into left field very, very shortly. Closes that DRS and is now really, really close to Poco. Has he overtaken him? Yes, he has through the inside. What a move by Ratapato there. As Poco gets up to him again, he gets the better exit of Ratapato, but looks like Rata has gained that P6 position.
Yeah, that is very good racing from Ratapato on the new compound. Certainly an interesting choice. Not my definitely first decision in a race strategy, but it is the race strategies he's chosen. But also, I want to focus on Chris. Down in P16, something is crazy happened to him, and he now has to suffer down in the lower positions. I don't know.
No,
Maybe
Chris
he's
has
crashed
actually
as well
left
as
the game.
fully. Oh, he's left the game. Well, that's really unfortunate for Chris. He's probably had to go losing out on potential points. Right.
Well, GeForce's internet turned spotty again, but that's alright, as I can take over. Wiseye has the DRS for some reason, as the DRS is also spotty on this game. But yeah, Beastiva is right behind him. The gap hasn't really changed. It was 8/10 of a second a few laps ago. It's still around that gap. Beastiva seems to have closed it just a little bit because of the DRS, but now through this fast section of corners, I do think that Wiseye will be able to open up that gap. Or will he? We'll have to see and find out. Does Wiseye spin? No, that was the Ferrari. Stranded out on the track. Thankfully, that wasn't Wiseye for his sake. Very much not thankfully for Beastiva. But as we wait to see what can happen then on this next straight, he will be. We see lots of retired cars on the track for some reason, which is not great to see. But Beastiva does get the DRS. Does he overtake Wiseye on this straight? Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, it looks like they're battling as they both go into the pits, actually. So we now have some pit action as the Red Bull, the RB, and the Ferrari go into the pits. Let's see which tires they choose. This is going to be important as it is the halfway point of the race. 12 laps gone, 12 laps left to go. As they go into the pit stop, which tires are they going to be choosing? Taking their sweet time, going to the very last pit stop box, going into the same box, actually. And we have to see what I think Wiseye, yeah, he is doing a second stint on the mediums. There is no tire compound rule, of course, so he is able to do this. So he's just going to repeat that stint. Same with Beastiva, actually. So they are both just going to repeat their stints over again, which should be good for them as they go around the track for the next 12 laps.
As we have a new leader then, Mr. Download Drum, but that's just because Wiseye and Beast have pitted. There is a 10 to 11 second gap between the leader and Wiseye, so that should quickly come down when Mr. Download Drum does decide to pit. If he does decide to do that, he could very easily just stay out, race till the end. That's very much a possibility as well. That he can take into account. But yeah, Wiseye Beast looks to have lost a little bit of time with the pit stops. Around 2.5 seconds he's lost there. He certainly won't be too happy about that. He now needs to put his head down, minimize the mistakes, make sure he capitalizes on any mistakes Mr. Wiseye does, and hopefully he can challenge for that race win once again. So now we wait to see what Mr. Download Drum does. Does he pit? No, he doesn't. He stays out for yet another lap. That's fairly interesting to see. Auto Hybrid in P4 as well. Great stuff from him as well this race. I'm sure he will be very, very happy about that. Opening his DRS, then onto Stowe he goes. Going through Stowe then. Will he be pitting as well this lap? Doesn't look like it.
No, it doesn't look like it, as it seems like Wiseye and Beastiva are having very early stops. Mr. Download trying to retain his very short-living lead, but it's still a lead nonetheless, which is quite nice for him. Maybe he can brag about that later. But yeah, he still has to pit 7 seconds behind. Is Wiseye as he's closing up very close with the new fresh pound of tires. As auto hybrid, I think, is going ahead of something. As we see, I think someone else is pitted. I'm not sure. As we just see a lot of switches being done on the leaderboard. Yeah, auto hybrid is in P4. Just sinks, I think, down to P6. I think he was in the pit lane. Actually, I think a bunch of people are in the pit lane now in 7, P8, P9 positions. As we have, Ysai very close to Mr. Download Drum now. I think it would be making a lot of sense for him to pit, as well as BC Bar being behind. So he does definitely have a large gap to Ysai. So with the DRS from Mr. Download Drum, he might be able to create a larger gap between the two and become even more dominant in this race.
Yeah, absolutely. Does he pit? He does. He goes in the pit lane then. Oh, he crashes in the pit lane entry. What was that by Mr. Download Drum? That is not going to be his proudest moment then, as we have just captured it on live, 4K 60 FPS, if I should say so myself. And that is going to go down as the best moment in history, Mr. GeForce.
Yeah, Mr. Download Drum is definitely not going to be happy with that, as now his parents, his children, his grandchildren will have to look at that for generations, as he now moves down to P4 with the new change. Even maybe down into P5 if Rata catches up to him, but it doesn't seem like he will, as he is quite behind. But with the extra speed, so they will definitely be battling. Whether that will be for a long time, we will have to see with Rata's very old hards by now, 15 laps old, very old tires.
They're not 15 laps, GeForce. He actually pitted.
He pitted?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Let's have a talk with him, shall we? Right now? Let's go ahead and have a look on Rata's perspective. Hey, Rata, can you hear us?
Yeah.
All right. How has the race been for you so far?
Now it has been going pretty well. At least we haven't had any issues. I tried an undercut to Mr. Download Drum. I couldn't. It didn't work out. So yeah. But now just to keep pushing and try to keep this P5.
So I don't think that you should be too sad. I think you should be pretty happy with this P5 result if you do finish in this position. This is a very solid way to begin your season, isn't it?
Yeah, it's better than last season Silverstone. So yeah, I'm much happier.
If you can remind us what happened last season, that would be great.
I ended up 8 times at the wall at Maggots and Beckett's.
Great.
So yeah, this chassis works much better on that section. So yeah.
Yeah, the new suspension physics, as we said in the beginning of the race. Thank you very much, Ratapato, for talking to us. Hopefully you can catch up to your rival.
Hopefully.
Thanks again for talking to us. We'll catch up later on. As that was Mr. Ratapato for you guys. I'm in love with this new radio system. I don't know if you guys are, but do let me know what you think about it in the live chat. As we see, the nearest rival to Ratapato is Sinks. He's 10 seconds behind, so I'm not sure Ratapato has anything to worry about. What I did see is Mr. Download Drum is on the softs. Oh, he went on the softs. Okay, so those softs will be deteriorating towards the final few laps. Rata just needs to keep his head down. Maybe he will be able to achieve something from the deteriorating softs that Mr. Download Drum. Again, the commentator's curse, as he makes a massive mistake through there. He actually slides his way through Magus, Beckett's, and Chapel. He keeps it on track, but he will not be happy with that at all.
Yeah, Mr. Download Drum having a lot of unlucky race things happening to him as he goes through the last part of the track. He is going to be losing a lot of time. He was trying to catch up to Auto Hybrid, but he's failed to do that. Only a second and a bit behind him. As Rata, I think, is starting to close the gap between those two. He's looking forwards instead of backwards. Sinks is nothing to him as he tries to go ahead and get into those top 4 positions, even potentially on the cards, a podium, but definitely not any P1 or P2, because that's going to be Yside and BC Var battling for that for that podium, top podium finishes.
Look, you never know. We had the retirement of Chris, which is a top story for today. We'll never know until that checkered flag falls and waves its drivers home. But yeah, hopefully nothing bad happens to these two drivers and any drivers in this case. As we have Yseye up in the lead, just casually cruising. Mr. Download Drum using that power of the softs that the compound gives him to close that gap to Auto Hybrid. I'm not sure Auto Hybrid has too much to be worried about. He just needs to keep his head down. Even if Mr. Download Drum decides to go for the move and overtake him, he can just stick behind in his DRS and just make sure he nurtures his tires till the end, so that when the softs start deteriorating, Otto will have the chance again to overtake Mr. Download Drum. But yet again, we'll have to wait and see how that goes as we are nearing towards lap number 18. Actually, we are in lap 18. Okay, we have a few more laps to go. Not too much left just yet. We'll be finishing off and flying to the next round, which is a beep in just a little bit. We'll be revealing the next round right after the race is done. It was chosen by our co-commentator, Mr. G-Force, and we'll have to wait and see what that track is. I hope you guys don't hate him because I don't like the track that he chose. So yeah, it's now left to be seen.
I'm not gonna lie, I've forgotten the track I've chosen, but it's probably gonna be a terrible one. But not focusing on that now, we have to focus on the race right presented in front of us. BCV 4 seconds behind Whiteside. That's not an ideal finish for him so far because he was pole position. He was expecting to be in that top position, but he's second's not the worst thing in the world. He's definitely secured that for now because we don't know. Like Arthur said, until the checkered flag falls, anything can happen. Even someone like Mr. Ben could win, or Senior Ben, whatever his name was. He could potentially win if he really wanted to, and if the fate gave him. But that is just an analogy for what could happen. So Mr. Download Drum and Auto Hybrid have swapped positions. He is now in P3, but that might not last with his new compound of tires because they are going to deteriorate quickly, as Arthur has mentioned. So Auto Hybrid doesn't have too much to worry about there, but of course he needs to be close enough to him and nurture his tires. Rast as well, lurking from behind. He needs to wait until the last couple of laps to truly pounce and get ahead of them too.
Yeah, Ratapato is the underdog here. Auto Hybrid and Mr. Download Drum are very prone to mistakes, both of them, because they now have the pressure of each other. And pressure does not... Well, there are people who thrive under pressure, but I doubt that those two can thrive under pressure, as Ratapato is... Well, you could say he's 10 seconds behind them, but just know that this is 1.5 penalties away from Ratapato catching up to them, so they really need to minimize their mistakes. Not too many laps to go, just 5 remaining as Rata gets the DRS, as the DRS system in this game is very funky. But yeah, Rata will be fairly happy with P5, as we said before. And now I want to focus on the race leader of this race then. It is Mr. Wiseye. Let's have a talk with him. Last time we talked with him was a little bit long time ago, actually. It was back in, when was it, qualifying or the beginning of the race? Not really sure when it was, but I do want to hear a few words from him. Let's see what his point of view is. Hello, Mr. Wiseye, can you hear us?
Hello.
Hi, could you bring your microphone a bit closer?
Oh, 1 second on the straight.
Yeah, okay. While you drive then onto that straight, I really want to ask, how are you managing to stay so further ahead of Beast when in qualifying you weren't able to get that pole position?
I think it's just like my consistency in the race. It's like totally different from my qualifying.
Yeah, you sound incredibly tired as well, so
Really? I don't know why, but my microphone isn't like loud right now, but it usually is.
yeah, that's okay. Anything else you want to say about your race performance today so far? I mean, you have been absolutely fantastic. No mistakes made. Well, not too many big mistakes made. You have nurtured your way up until the lead, 5.5 seconds ahead of Beast. That is a great performance so far, dude.
Yeah, no, I just feel bad for Beast because he kind of got a bad pit stop out of there.
Yeah, we actually
I
saw
don't
that
really
as
know
well.
what happened. I think he maybe overspeeded and crashed into the wall, and then he had to back up and then come back,
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. But I feel like he did something because he's on my pace,
Yeah. As we don't really see the gap coming down or going up, it's usually at 5 seconds. As Wiseye just said, thanks for talking to us, Wiseye. We'll come back to you very shortly. As
Right.
we move through the race. That was Wiseye for you guys. As again, I'm just in love with those radio systems. RNG GeForce.
Yes, I am in love with him as well.
Okay, I was not expecting that.
Because of the way I'm in love with his driving style because it's absolutely impeccable. Just being at the top of the grid right now, because 6 seconds ahead of Beastie Von now. It is 7 seconds now. Yeah, it's just increasing and increasing. He is definitely going faster and faster. Very quick man, Whiteside he is, as he is just very ahead of Beastie Von. Beastie Von is not going to be too pleased with that. Maybe on his redemption arc in the next couple of rounds, but who knows? Maybe Whiteside manages to keep his lead. It's all fair in love and war. As further down the grid, we see Mr. Download 7 seconds ahead of Auto Hybrid. I do think Auto Hybrid now has to worry about losing his P3 because he has just lost it. 6 seconds behind. Potentially got a penalty because I don't think he had. I think he had the tire advantage, so that's going to be really unfortunate for him, as he's now going to be dissatisfied. I think with P4. Rata as well in P5. He has done a remarkable job with his tires, but I don't think it's going to be the best job he possibly could have done. But still, P5 is still a pretty good finishing position for him, should things stay like this for the 3 remaining laps.
Yeah, Rata has actually done a really good job. I know he doesn't play this game much, and to be in P5 with how little he plays this game, it's a really good effort. I can't wait to see what he would be able to do if he actually played this game, just like Wiseye does. For example, who is in the lead by 7.5 seconds? He's not in the lead anymore by 7.5 seconds, it looks like, is he?
Oh, he is 4 seconds now ahead of Beastival, which is definitely a comfortable lead, but not comfortable as the 7 second lead he had. So that's going to be really more nerve wracking for him, as he's going to give us a bit more of excitement for these last 3 laps. Wiseye, he's probably a little bit of an entertainer himself. Beastival is just his toy, and it's his world, and we're just living in it. So we'll have to see how he plans this out for the rest of the race, because he's only got a little bit of the race left. He doesn't have to worry too much as long as he just makes no mistakes and manages to stay ahead of him, maintaining his comfortable gap. As they both have no tire advantage over each other. They pitted on the same lap and they have the same compound. So it's just a matter of skill to see who comes ahead in their battle.
Yep, so just a couple of laps to go then for this race to finish. Wiseye has held it beautifully. He probably made a mistake, maybe a penalty gained there, but I think he would have lost way more time than he actually did. As we see 2 RBs back there, the second one is Beastiva. He's not that far behind, but he's far behind just enough, at which point he will not be able to challenge for that race win. He won't be able to get close enough to Wiseye to maybe make sure that he takes use of a single or 2 mistakes that Wiseye could very much make through these last couple of laps. As the mediums are also deteriorating slowly but steadily. What isn't nice to see is that Auto Hybrid has not held through. He probably pitted a lot earlier than the leaders. Maybe his mediums are actually at a finished state, which I have actually no idea about. Maybe at some stage we can also get his team radio in a couple of next races. Not quite sure, but anyone who wants access to this feature, just DM me. You go through a verification process and you get yourself a place in the team radio system, and we can have a talk with you throughout the race. Just DM me and we can figure it all out from there. But yeah, so far everything has worked beautifully. The race start was a bit messy, I have to admit. The live stream did not start at the scheduled time. It was a few minutes late, but we're here. The race has gone underway well. Not too much lag, thankfully, not lobby crashing lag, which happened to our colleagues over at PARC today. So wishing them a recovery from that, a good recovery from that. Hopefully that doesn't happen to us. No, Ratapato, what happened there? On the last lap as well, but I don't think that's going to be enough for the next car to catch up, which is Eats Leon. He has held absolutely perfectly, actually overtaken Sinks there on the hard tire compound, but Rata, massive mistake from him there, as this is the final lap. Then let's focus on Wiseye. Let's talk about his race. He has held absolutely beautifully. In qualifying, he wasn't that fast. He was able to only get second, a few tenths away from P1, and in the race start, it didn't really look too promising for him. But he has held beautifully. He has increased his pace lap by lap in this race, and that's what separates him from Beastiva. That's what will give him the win if he keeps it on the road through this final couple of corners. He does keep it on the road. There is a final corner though that can absolutely mess up his race. It's Russian roulette through there, as we've used this term a lot of times. Will it be Russian roulette this time around? It will be, but will it get him? It won't get him. Looks like he's cleanly through the final couple of corners. Wiseye goes, and he will be winning the very first race of Season 2. He'll be crossing the line right about now. Wiseye, ladies and gentlemen, is your winner after a fantastic race performance. He's 2.5 seconds ahead of Beast, who was in the lead. He was set to win the race, but he lost his pace throughout the race, which was obviously not really good for him. And you got to feel for Beast as he really pushed through. In P3, we have Mr. Download Drum, who finishes on the podium after Auto Hybrid was not able to get the performance he wanted in P4. As we said, Auto Hybrid, he did not transfer that medium compound tire into the podium finishing position, which is not too great to see. But I'm sure that that's a very solid way to start the season. If he can pull performances like that, he will very easily be in the top 3 of the championship. In P5, Rata, after a very, very solid performance, I should say so myself as well, on the hard tire compound. He was on that compound pretty much more than half of this race, which is actually very admirable. In P6 finishes Sinks, who was right behind. Oh, that was a close finish actually by Leon and Sinks as they fought out. It was a drag race to the line, and it looks like Sinks actually got him. On the very final corner in P8, we have Just Maxi. In P9, we have Sloko, who will be crossing the finish line right about now. And in P10, finishing us off, if he can actually finish the race, will be Mr. Shuffle. That rounds up your top 10, your points finishers, and actually 1 point for pole position will also go to Beastiva.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful race for most, Brass has had a pretty good race in P5. YC's also had a dream race as well. DC Bar still walking away with 19 points. You can't really complain too much from that. Auto Hybrid, little bit of a disappointment for him, but still should be happy nonetheless, as well as Mr. Download Drum with a very nice strategy, very execute, probably the best strategy out of everyone. So yeah, it was a really nice race, especially with, the battles between even It's Leon and Sinks coming for that P6, but Sinks managed to edge him there just right. Just there, so it was a really nice round, and yeah,
absolutely. Let's then go into the slightest intermission as we have the new graphic up on your screens. We have absolutely upped our game, if I should say so myself, in terms of actually everything for this new season, and I'm super glad to be able to deliver it to you guys once again, as we said. But here we go. Let's reveal the next round, shall we? Are we guys excited? Let me pull up the chat so we can see what you guys think about the next round as well. Will you guys hate GeForce? Will you not hate him? We'll find out relatively soon. I'm checking chat, Poco. As we are moving into the cinematic view of Silverstone, we'll be finding out what the next round is. Give me a drum roll. I wish I could. I wish I prepared for this moment, but I actually. Some great drum roll by GeForce there. So, do we reveal the next round? Sure, let's go ahead. Round 2 is Indianapolis, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching this race. GeForce, you got anything to say?
I've chosen this track, huh? I didn't even remember, but yeah, it's a pretty good track, I'd say. I like Indianapolis.
Lots of people don't, and I am one of them.
Oh. Wow, I think it's a nice track. It's quite fun in my opinion, but I guess my opinion does not match with the general consensus, which is disappointing to say the least.
Absolutely. Anyways, that is all horrible I see people texting in the chat. That's not going to be too great for us, but hopefully you guys can pull through. Again, 5,000 Robux of a prize pool is not little money, so you guys just have to deal with it. Suck it up, deal with it. And yeah, that was about it for this race. Thank you all so much for being a part of this. And join my Discord server to find out more details about next round. And we'll catch you next round, hopefully with G4 alongside us with no problems. and hopefully we can have a great race. Thank you all so much once again for watching Silverstone, and we'll catch you next time in Indianapolis. Bye-bye. The knee. Oh, massive mistake by the knee. As they're both really good. Oh, yep, both of those drivers actually. Both of those drivers.
Oh, they're going side by side, G-Force, they're going side by side.
Yeah, they've been having a very incredible battle. But you also think about this battle in the